Here is a 2024 Lexus ES250 all-wheel drive in eminent white pearl over new look beige and black contrast interior. We got a light refresh a couple years ago for the lighting, the grille, and some of the elements in the interior. And they offer a 350 which will increase horsepower to 99 more than this. But is this going to be the sweet spot for a luxury vehicle comparing to Infiniti, Acura, some of the German rivals? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. Starting on the front, signature L daytime runnings. LED headlights that go into the boomerang style air curtain and the enlarged grille with the L's that are badged in the gloss gray that integrate into the Lexus badging. It does have a little bit more chrome, but when you get the F Sport handling package or design package, which is new for the year, you're going to start getting some gloss black elements so it looks a little bit more sporty and athletic. It's not going to be as wide as the Acura. It's going to be wider than Infiniti. If you go into the Germans, it's going to set up a little bit more so with the clearance. Standard wheel will be a 17-inch. Here we have 18-inch 10-spoke alloy wheels. Going into the 350, you'll get a 5-spoke, so you can distinguish the difference between them, not just by some of the exterior, but also the wheel design. Underneath the hood is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, producing 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 25 mpgs for the city, 34 mpgs for the highway, up to the 350, and you're going to increase torque by 83 pound-feet. You will be losing about 2 mpgs on both sides. So if you need a little bit more power than the base engine option, you would go that route. This will be the least in class in performance compared to any of the rivals, but it's also the best MPGs compared to any of the rivals. Same suspension setup, whether you option the 250 or the 350, the dynamic handling suspension will change it to a sportier suspension layout, but you're still getting a butter smooth ride because that's what Lexus is known for. And to keep it classy, you're getting the chrome on the window treatment and over the top of your LED tail lights, and it goes all the way around the back. So it keeps a luxury pose. You're not gonna see any exhaust. You do get the matte black and the chrome that's going to surround the lower. For me, I would do a chrome delete because even at the 250, you're still getting the same drive. Performance numbers, it's gonna be 2 seconds slower than the 350. But again, it's a give or take whether you're looking for MPGs or some performance for your luxury vehicle. Standard power liftgate going into 13.1 cubic feet. It does sit up a little bit, but the opening is going to be wider than Infiniti and Acura, and you have more space inside. Underneath the floor, you get your spare tire and jack, and you get a pass-through. This is the 4-cylinder, so we need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Interior beige with black contrast and contrast stitching. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver with memory. 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, heated and ventilated. Headroom and leg room. It's wider and deeper than all of the competition. A little bit of a driver focused setup. The dashboard will have a 8-inch or 12-inch. This is a base trim, so you're getting the 8-inch. All of them will have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse, and you get a reverse camera with trajectory, and you can also take those lines off. Dual climate control with a storage pocket. Open this, and you got your USB ports. A little bit more of a luxury twist. The key fob for the ES. QI wireless charger, and it has a little bit of a driver setup here, but it has a 2-tier opening to USB ports and a 12-volt. The passenger side will have more of the wood inlays because you don't have the big screen in the center with the contrast stitching. On the driver's side, you'll still get the wood, and it'll integrate into the door panels. The driving mode select will be stationed here, and if you get the F Sport, you'll have the Sport Plus mode leather-wrapped steering wheel, 3-spoke, multi-function with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and the paddle shifters. You can also go through an array of information for the driver, including the turn-by-turn navigation. You get a moonroof, auto-dimming rear view mirror, and the door panel gets soft materials pretty much everywhere except for one touch up and down for all the windows, the gloss black surrounding it, and a medium-sized storage pocket. For the back seat, headroom and leg room. It's going to have the most head and leg room if you're comparing to Infiniti or Acura. Storage beyond both of the front seats, USB ports, a 12-volt, air vents. The center gets the armrest with cup holders. The door panel will get the same materials that's found in the front, so the everyday is where it needs to be so it's easier to clean. And you get a medium-sized storage pocket. The middle is not completely flat, so pick your feet up, slide over, the rails are pushed up enough. You will be sharing some feet, butt, and shoulder space, but for the most part it isn't that bad because it's a wide vehicle. Headroom will be a little bit questionable if you're over 6 foot tall. 203 horsepower out of the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, 184 pound-feet of torque. Reaching 60 is 8.6 seconds. Go to the V6 and you're going to be at 2 seconds quicker. With 99 horsepower more and 83 pound-feet of torque more. Add the F-Sport dynamic handling package and you will get a sportier tuned suspension. But the brakes are going to be the same and you're going to get the same suspension layout. So when you're thinking about a luxury vehicle, this definitely will be that sweet spot because you're getting great MPGs, which is not normal when you get into a luxury vehicle. Typically, you're going to be with a more thirsty vehicle. We do not have the Sport Plus because this is not the F Sport handling package. We have it in sport mode. It's enough. Here we go. We're gonna just have to conclude there because this doesn't have any type of Brembo brakes. It's not necessarily needed. It's under 4,000 pound curb weight, but dynamically speaking, it's not gonna be a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, but you can still do some maneuverabilities, and this is a longer vehicle, nearly 200 inches. So when you're thinking of the specs in which I'm telling you and adding it to the drive, and it's still putter smooth, where are you gonna get that? It's gonna take me to some pros and cons, starting off with the pros. It's one of the best in class for suspensions. You don't feel anything. Larger cargo than Infiniti and Acura. Going against the Germans, it still puts up a pretty good fight because you're getting all the standard technology features. Lexus Safety Sense, which is going to take care of you for frontal collision, pedestrian detection, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection. When you start thinking standard amenities at a $42,000 price point, it really is hard to find all that in a luxury car. Here we go. Road noise will filter in a little bit. These are 18-inch upgraded wheels instead of the standard 17-inch wheels. And another pro is you can get the 18-inch wheels even on the base trim. It's going to be 10-spoke instead of 5-spoke, but you don't have to go for a 17-inch wheel and sacrifice if you're wanting to make it look a little bit more elegant and athletic. Going to some cons, an 8-inch infotainment screen. Because it's a Lexus, I would like to see just a 12.3 standard across the board. Because why are you going from Toyota into Lexus? You're going there to get standard navigation, a larger screen, more technology, more safety. Look at this thing go. Your normal drive, opposed to off the line like I just did, it's going to be a significant difference night and day. In eco mode, it's going to feel a little bit more heavy, but if you put it into sport mode, it does liven up and it doesn't feel as much weight to the vehicle, which is another con because you really have to keep it into sport mode in order for the vehicle to feel like it's maneuvering. I do like some of the touches that they give, hiding the USB ports here in front of the gear lever. It just keeps a more stylish cue for the Lexus line, and how you have the sport mode, normal, or eco right here on top of the gauge cluster. So it just is a little bit more easier to touch instead of going down here like you would go in all of the rivals. The adaptive cruise cruise control and lane keep assist is spot on with all of the rivals. About 0.2 to 0.3 miles you can go without really being engaged too much. The nice thing about the Lexus line is when you are doing it and you're not engaged, it doesn't just simply cut off. It still will kind of go, whereas most of the rivals now are just making it come to a complete stop, so it makes you have to get engaged. Back seat is good for 3 occupants. It's a little bit tight for headroom, but that also goes for Infiniti and Acura. Going into the German line, the same thing. They're going to be emphasizing a little bit more of a sporty style, in which the suspension is also going to be more firm. Air noise filters in through here, I would say just as much as the Germans, but it is going to be more quiet than the Acura. More soft materials are going to be found in the Lexus line. Even though they do have some harder materials and some plastic here and there, for the most part, they do a great job cloaking over everything that would need to have that soft materials as leatherette or new look interior throughout. Going back to the competitors, Infiniti will have a twin turbo engine where all of the other rivals will not have that. It will be one of the best in class for horsepower and for price points, but if you're looking for more performance, you could just simply go to the IS or upgrade this to the 350 and get the dynamic handling package, and you're pretty much spot on with all of the competitors. Now to check the turn radius at a near stop point. It's a longer vehicle, but it still gets right at about a lane and a half. Like I was saying before, the eco mode, it just feels a little bit more heavy. The exhaust doesn't necessarily filter in. Put it into sport mode, livens up a little bit more, so because you're hitting a higher RPM, you're gonna hear that exhaust kind of filter in a little bit. But through your day in and day out drive, it's going to be pretty much under 2 RPMs. When you're going from light to light, you're going to be hitting about 3 to 3.5 RPMs to get it motivated. It doesn't feel very wide. The steering is pretty light, so it is good for that everyday drive. And lengthwise, it doesn't feel very long until you actually start looking around the vehicle. So Lexus does a good job in the sense of keeping it more of a smaller feel to the car, and yet a pleasant drive. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Lexus of the Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2024 Lexus ES250 all-wheel drive for our car review.